Okay, so I'm going to be doing a VOD review for Senpai. It says here that you used to be, GM to Masters on different roles. I went ahead and looked through the VOD for you, and I am not quite sure. I completely believe you. Um, I don't mean to throw shade at you or anything, but it seems like you don't really quite understand. I guess what's going on. It doesn't look like you're very familiar, especially with Diva in particular, of what's going on in the game. A lot of stuff that I would feel would be pretty, um, I guess, easy to catch on for even a diamond player in these lobbies, because these lobbies look like they're probably low silver-ish. Um, would be able to still like hard carry these games. You just don't look like you're particularly comfortable. I don't. Again, I don't want to throw too much shade at you. But I'm definitely surprised that even though you took off, I don't know, I think a few months, maybe half a year or so from this game, that you deteriorated this much. It seems like you've like completely lost all of your skill, if you had any. Just to demonstrate kind of like a fundamental thing, right? I'm not really a big Diva player, despite kind of playing, I guess, more off tanks, quote unquote off tanks. I didn't really play Overwatch much. But even I know, like obviously I have to know, because I play against divas all the time. That diva is basically a shotgun character, right? Like, if I just stand back this way, 20 meters away from this bot has like a tank-sized hitbox, and you still see how long that took to kill the bot, right? Compared to like standing up here, that like took maybe a second, right? I mean, granted, it's also going for headshots. Maybe 2 seconds, second and a half there or something like that, but you can see the difference between me standing this far away and me staying this close to the bot are in terms of time to kill, right? And I bring this up because a lot of times in the replay, you're playing almost like an Arisa or a Sigma, right? You're just kind of sitting in the open and spamming these people. Not to say you ever want to be standing in the open, as either of those characters for extended periods of times, right? But you're just constantly kind of doing this. And you see how long it takes to kill them? Or instead, if you just did something like this, right? Again, not much of a diva player. And also, I don't have the setting on. There's a setting. I'll leave this as an exercise to you. Hold to boost, and that makes it so that's a lot easier to have that not happen, right? Because you can just you have to tap it, again. On my CS settings now, you have to tap the boosters on or off, which is a little awkward for me. This is an alt account. Not that big of a deal, but regardless. You can hold boosters on and land exactly where you want to, get the boop, get the easy headshots after the boop, also hit the missiles at the same time, right? That's like the combo you want to be going for maximum DPS. Diva has really good bursts, which is why I mentioned this. It's almost as good as Roadhog Hook. Yeah, or like a Rhine Pin. She has crazy DPS at point blank, assuming you're hitting your shots right. Yeah, so I guess it's a free intro course to like getting max value of Diva combo wise, doing max damage. It's okay to like see. I'm still doing decent damage from this range against Tracer from this range. Look how little damage I did. Right? It's almost not even worth me shooting her if no one else is shooting her. This really important as Diva because like you're neutral. Outside of 10 to 15 meters, depending on the character, is not very good, right? You want to be playing corners and waiting for opportunities, maybe supporting your team with Matrix or something like that, denying healings, right? Waiting for an opportunity to do something. Okay. Anyways, like I said, I went ahead and looked at the replay. I think your two biggest problems are one, that you don't really seem to, I guess, fundamentally know the strengths of Diva, or maybe any character. Again, you're kind of playing her like a, almost like an Arisa, like I said earlier, or a Sig, when really you can't do that, right? And two, because you're doing that, you're also, I guess, in the open a lot. You really need to like work on your cover usage, so you don't eat so much random damage or spam or like important cooldowns, right? And you might be thinking, okay, so what am I looking for opportunity-wise? Generally, what you're looking for to actually commit, like fly on someone, for example, is if they use important cooldowns or they isolate themselves. And I'll show examples of this as the game progresses. Right? So here, you see the Hanzo up here. And this is kind of like relaying on the first point, right? You seem kind of, I guess, unaware at times, like almost like you're checking your phone, right? You saw this Hanzo was up here, just charging an arrow at your spawn for like a good 2 seconds here, right? Granted, your soldier shouldn't have died to this too. He just ran in the open, but you had time to matrix him, right? Unfortunately, not the biggest deal. You do have res, and the Hanzo jumped away anyways. What I'd be looking to do is fly up here and play cover here, right? You have good cover here, and you can scout to see what they have, right? You can see they have a Sig, a Moira, the Hanzo, obviously, they have a Hanzo. And you're in no danger of dying here, right? You have pretty much full matrix. Worst case for you, they have like a Hog instead of a Sig and like an Ana Zen. You just get hooked in and instantly blow up. But, if you're playing cover well here, you fly up to here. That shouldn't happen, right? And, you see their comp, okay, you're in no danger of dying. And if you start eating too much spam, no problem. You just back up and just fall off immediately, right? So, no point in just slowly walking up here. You have boosters. They're on such a short cooldown that as long as you don't like land in an open space after they're done, you really can't get punished, especially this early on in the fight, right? Okay, maybe saying you can't get punished is a bit of an exaggeration, but this early on in the fight, like, there's no way you're gonna get punished, right? So here, I actually don't usually play with headphones. I don't think it's necessary for tank. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's not necessary for any role. It definitely helps. It's a huge advantage. I'm not going to deny that. But you just to let you know, you can definitely on tank at least get top 500 without a headset or anything. Without any fancy stuff, any fancy setup or anything like that. Maybe if you're on a 20 FPS laptop with a trackpad, maybe not, but I don't know. Regardless, you should have been able to hear that this Sombra was shooting someone down here, right? Instead of just sitting in the open, you could have used your boosters to immediately fly to the Sombra because she's completely isolated, right? You saw 3 people here at main, and maybe you didn't see yet, but they're Juno's top, right? You're probably not going to kill the Sombra right off the bat because you don't know if she's used Translocator yet or not. But the important thing is you get her out of your team's space and allow your team to push up, right? And there's a chance because you're in, there's a chance in any rank, but there's more of a chance the lower in rank you are that she's going to mess up her cooldowns. Either not use her translocator in the first place or accidentally translocate to a wall or translocate like right on this mini here, and you can continue to chase and get the intro pick for your team that way, right? Instead, you're kind of like doing the thing where I showed you practice range. We're just kind of standing pretty much at like where the Sigma wants to play, right? This is not quite his max range, but it's close. You're doing like no damage here, right? And this is gonna be a recurring problem. You're just wasting your resources, right? You're wasting matrix. Look how low your matrix is, which means you can't allow your team to peek, right? You can't like block arrows for your team to like pressure their shield. And if someone makes a mistake, like their Hanzo jumps forward, for example, or their Sig just bots in, you can't like safely engage because you don't have matrix anymore, right? This is kind of a quote unquote the problem with D.Va. Your neutral isn't very good. Like I said, you're not really a long range character. Despite having like, you might think you have miniguns, are really more like shotguns, right? So just waiting for your boosters, right, is okay. Just playing cover so you don't eat random spam and force resources from your supports is more valuable than just sitting out here and eating spam, right? Because if instead of eating spam here, your Kiriko is allowed to, like, for example, walk over here and start trying to throw kunais, right? Because she can put in offensive pressure herself if she's not constantly stuck looking at you, right? Or if I said earlier, you helped your, I guess, Tracer with the Sombra, right? And you're over here, right? Okay, yeah, regardless. And that also gets pressure off your Mercy from healing you too and allows her to pocket your soldier, for example, right? Regardless, what you should be doing instead, let the Sombra go. Not ideal. What if instead of playing here, You just flew over here and took this angle, right? Now, if these people want to shoot you, look what they have to do. They have to walk all the way out here, and look how much that exposes you, or exposes them to your team, right? Because now they have to make the decision between looking at you or looking at your team, right? They can't shield, realistically, 2 places at once. I mean, if he's good, he can, but the Hanzo, if he decides he wants to try to peek you, he obviously can't shield at all. But by staying here, you see, you only force the enemies to do this. If they want to look at someone else, do you see how like easy that is for them? And you're just eating spam and not trading anything in return. And again, if you're here playing the strengths of your character and the Sigma wants to peek you, you're doing full damage to him, right? You're actually getting good resource trades because he's a long range character that doesn't really do too much damage, honestly, right? He only does like 70-ish damage per second. And you do something like 150-ish, you know, you can look at the wiki if you really want to know, not including headshots, something around that without your missiles, right? I think it's like 200-ish with your missiles. And that might be excluding headshots still, right? So you can blow people up close range is what I'm trying to say, right? And see, cover usage, right? You just eat this rock and you see you just lose literally like 300 health, all your armor for no reason, so you're stuck just sitting in this choke waiting for your supports to heal you. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Opportunity, you have full health, you have good boost, you have good matrix, and you have your boosters, right? You see this Sombra teleport in here? This is an opportunity for you to fly into the Sombra and just burst her before anyone can kill her, right? Unfortunately, you don't have your missiles because you wasted them, so you can't just fly in and hold Matrix to deny her healing. But they have a Moira anyways, so but you can still burst her down. Like I said, D.Va does a lot of damage. You see, you even mark her here and see her go uninvisible. You should be flying in to try to get this Sombra. That's the intro you want. Again, no same mistakes here. Just kind of sitting in the open, right? I'm sure if you can imagine, if you're just standing here, or, you know, the other side, doesn't really matter. I say over here because it lets your Curie heal you based on their positioning more easily. If you sit here, these people can't do this. If their Sig pushes forward, you can immediately start shooting their backline and blow them up, right? And that also allows your team to play forward, right? I don't know where your soldier went. Maybe he's flanking. Oh yeah, they're both flanking. They're kind of doing the right thing here. But if your soldier was here, like, look how bad his angle here. Like, imagine if he was here. He can't do anything except shoot the shield, and he gets risks. You know, he's in risk of getting spammed by the Sigma, right? But if you were over here, no one can push this far, right? This is kind of a positional problem. So again, you see this Juno like jump in the air, and she's kind of extended. She's frontlining, right? If it was a split-second thing, right? So you see she jumps up. Look how exposed she is here, right? You can just fly. Well, you're kind of low now, but if you weren't taking so much damage to begin with, you could fly into her and try to get a pick. But really, you either fly in to try to get the pick on her, or just hold Matrix and wait to get healed, right? Just kind of flying over to your Mercy does nothing because your Mercy can heal you from over. So I would say, you know, going choke isn't really working here. Part of it's because they have a lot of spam. Part of it's because they're not playing correctly. I will say if you waste a lot of time going choke and it's just not working, you know, if you waste a lot of time going any entrance, not necessarily choke, you know, you have other options, right? For example, you can play in this room here, and you see like the sight lines from where they are, it's a lot easier for you to get on their back line from here, right? And the range isn't nearly as long for them, right? This plays in your strengths more, right? Because you're just a much closer range than if you were just playing here and their Sig's just playing here, right? Like, you can't do anything. You can't get good engage very easily, but from here you can immediately get on the back line, or you can actually poke the Sigma out more easily, and you also can play around this Mega, right? And that also opens up your team to push through main, right? If they're still there. Just something to keep in mind. See, this isn't really going anywhere. So here, this is kind of what I was talking about. You don't really seem to know that when Sigma does his suck or whatever, kinetic grasp, I don't know, I think that's what it's called, you actually can't shoot him from the front with anything except beams. It's kind of like your Matrix, right? You just are giving him like I'll show you. You just gave him like 300 over health or something. Maybe not quite that much. I don't know exactly how much you get. Okay, but the point is, you see, I think Sigma's health is like 625, and now it's 762. So you gave him at least like 150 ish extra health from that. So yeah, like don't shoot Sigma when he's like that. Right. Opportunity to eat this damage orb, right? You know, it's pretty free. It's always good to be looking to eat stuff like long cooldowns as Diva, right? Because it's not going to do much to you. But it's an 8-second cooldown for Moira that only requires you to flash your Matrix for like, you know, half a second. So, you know, that's a really good trade for you, right? Something to really be keeping in mind is Diva, if you can eat a cooldown, you pretty much always want to because it's always a good trade for you, right? Cooldowns take a lot of time, generally speaking, to recharge, right? You know, 8 seconds or whatever. But your Matrix recharges super quickly, and there's only like a second of downtime afterwards. So I think you accidentally eat it when it bounces off the wall. That's alright though. You see, you're backing up here, but the Sigma made the mistake of walking towards you to begin with, right? He does not want to be close to you. Again, you're a shotgun character, really. If he makes the mistake of walking into you and he has no shift, right? That means he can't easily save himself if you start bursting him, right? Because it's like if you have no Matrix, or if you're playing Orisa and you have no gold and no javelin spin, right? You can't stop eating a ton of damage if you play out in the open. He's kind of making the mistake of wasting his cooldowns, right? Getting no value and just continuing to stay in the loop. I mean, you're kind of doing the same thing, and you lost your window of opportunity because you're just kind of trading for him at long range, right? But those are, like I said, those are the opportunities you want to look for, right? And when he uses suck earlier, again, don't just fly in straight in the open. You can fly, for example, over here and blow him up this way, right? That forces him to shield you or your team at the same time, right? And you're perfectly safe over here, right? Same thing as earlier. Consider the enemy's LOS, right? Again, there are a lot of better targets here than the Sigma. I think it's okay to be shooting him. Alright, so here you're getting the Sigma low, right? You saw he used to suck just like, you know, 3-4 seconds ago. This is another opportunity to try to kill him or force out a ton of, you know, an ult. I'm surprised no supports on their team have an ult yet. This is an opportunity to kill him, right? You either force him to burn his entire shield or you kill him, right? Because he still has 4 seconds on grasp. And look how low he is. You can just shoot him in the head and he'll die, or you'll force out his shield and let your team walk in, right? But instead, you actually see he uses his shield. You can just walk by his shield, right, and kill him here because you have bomb. You don't really have to. You don't really have to worry about dying here if you play it decently well. But you see the Sig's actually killable here because he wasted his suck earlier, and he just wasted his shield, right? If you just stand in front of him so he can't use his shield, right? He put it too far. You can kill him here, and you're kind of wasting time going for this one. Unfortunately, you bomb kind of in the middle of their entire team, right, and just die. You really have to be careful of doing, you know, using bomb like that because obviously you only have 175 health as the baby Diva, and right, if everyone's already looking at you because you're just sitting main, you're very vulnerable and easy to kill, right? You want to put either more distance between yourself and the enemy team, and use bomb as like cover. Right, it's almost like a shield, I guess, because people can't shoot through it. That's what I mean. Or you want to use it like on isolated targets, right? Trying to pick off isolated targets. Oh, that's all right. Get rest here, so. Yep, it's fine. Just take cover and remech. Okay, so here, I like that you notice that this Moira is overextended. You're already close. You see you're already doing decent damage to this Moira here, right? See, no reason to fly at her yet, because she still has her fade, right? Wait until she fades, see where she lands, and then fly after her afterwards, right? This is fine. Yep. The Sigma is ignoring you, so it's perfectly fine to chase the kills here. Again, don't shoot this, you know. You see, Like, he's all alone, he has no supports, but he's getting more damage on you, right? And he's getting his ult. I mean, he has his ult now already, but he's also getting your HP lower, and that will in turn force your supports to heal you instead of doing something more yourself. Again, right, you're already close to him. If you're already in that position, don't back away, right? He just wasted his grasp. He didn't waste it per se, but he used his grasp, right? If he wants to walk into your face as D.Va, right? You do more, again, you do way more damage close range than you do far range. But he does the same damage no matter where he is. This is fine here, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, here, I think you're looking for the Hanzo. I guess you hear him or something. I actually saw him on the left, but that's alright. What you should be doing here is matrixing your Kiri so she doesn't get killed by the Hanzo. Let her heal you a bit and walk up, right? Walk up and just get on this Hanzo, right? And it's perfectly okay to matrix the Storm Arrow. That's his only way of bursting you down. Just matrix the Storm Arrow, right? Let him waste the cooldown, right? Like I said, D.Va's matrix is probably like one of the best cooldowns or meters in the game, whatever you want to call it, right? So if you can trade a bit of matrix for like a really important cooldown, like Storm Arrow, right? That's Hanzo's really only burst against tanks. Otherwise, he can't really kill you unless you like make a massive mistake. You should always do it. You can literally just here. Let me go a little further back. A little too far back. Here, you see he uses Storm Arrow, right? Because he's glowing blue. Booster into him. You see boosters, right? Hold down Matrix, so his Storm Arrow literally does nothing, and just blow him up when you're in his face, right? Do nothing to be really afraid of here. Like, and because you don't like capitalize on this Hanzo being overextended, right? Because you killed both their supports, they both got back. You just killed the Sig, so the Sig can't help him, right? If you just immediately flew into this Hanzo and just like bursted him down, you didn't even need to do like too much damage to him because your Tracer was with you able to help you with the Hanzo, right? You would have killed him, and then you could have kept staggering them, right? Because now instead of having to fight two supports in a Hanzo, you just sort of have to fight two supports here, right? So take advantage of So here, don't fly in. They're Moira's calling. You can't matrix the coalescence. It's perfectly okay here. Just chill, play behind cover, let your Kiri heal you. Right. You could be flying up here, right, to deny high ground from the Hanzo if he wants to take it. Or, you know, walking up here after you go high ground and just matrixing the Hanzo so he can't kill anyone. But unfortunately against coalescence, it's very unlikely you'll kill anyone if she plays even decently well. And you can't matrix it, right? It's like Zarya beam or Sim beam. Pretty much any beam in the game you can't matrix, so or echo focusing beam, whatever it's called. So like, you know, if your teammates want to troll and sit in the open, you can't save them from coalescence. You're just too low on health, and they are in coalescence, right? So it's unlikely that you actually be able to kill them. So, I guess you could say, you know, you forced out dragons and whatever Juno ult is. Which is okay, right? But you're just still standing in the open, right? Like I said, you had time to chill, let your supports heal you, and just wait. But okay, you force out two ults, you should be looking to fly back. You know, forget the Kiri ult, right? Because you got 3 ults out, and trading 1 Kiri ult for 3 ults is a good value as long as you live and stabilize, and then collapse on them after they overextend after the ult. But by taking all this damage because you're not playing cover, you just see, yeah, you just get debanked here. Okay. Okay, you almost killed the Hanzo. Somehow it works out, that's alright. Okay, here, no reason to fly to point, right? You just got 2 picks. You should be looking to go forward and like seal the deal, right? You see that your Tracer was on the Moira, right? Just fly past the Sig. Help your Tracer kill the Moira. If the Sig fluxes your teammates, right, so be it. Unfortunately, like, you can't really stop him from flexing them, but you can matrix his shots, for example. But you don't want to get caught in it yourself, right? You're just going to lose half your health for no reason. And because you float, and I'll also add, because you fly back in the point here, you're in the open, right? Look how bad your cover is, and you just eat all this spam from Flux, you get rocked, and you're going to get spammed by the Sig, right? And I didn't even notice. I guess the Moira faded in next to you. Okay, well, regardless, you see her here. You saw the Moira. You should be looking for her, not the Sig here. It's okay. Play cover. Taunted there or something. This is perfectly okay, right? I feel like once the Sig's gone, maybe your target priority is a little bit better. It's okay though. Here, you saw that Sombra shooting you, right? You should be looking to get her out of your team space, right? See if she messes up her cooldowns, right? You see the Juno, again, shooting from right side. Literally just fly over here, shoot her away. You don't, oh, she's even super weak. You might be able to get the kill. You don't even need to kill people. Just get them away from shooting your team, right? You're the tank, right? You're never going to die in a 1v1 against a squishy if they don't have, like, some... if they don't like massively outplay you, right? Especially with your entire team here, like you just force her away. You're not going to get demeched or die. You want to be the one doing that, right? Because you have 700 HP plus boosters plus matrix, and your team only has 250 health and no defensive cooldowns, really, right? So I think playing card here is perfectly okay. Get 3 times the card. Here, once you saw that Moira here, this is a good opportunity to leave cart, right? You don't necessarily have to fly up here immediately. You could fly up here and scout to see where they're positioned, for example. You know, you see the Sigs here. Oh, okay, and you see the Moira's here. You can start shooting her, see if she fades away, and see if she fades in a bad spot, right? If she fades all the way across the map, you know, unfortunately you can't chase that. But if she just fades here and just like drops on the floor, okay, that's an opportunity for you to chase that, right? So, like I said, you know, just play your resources and wait for your opponents to make a mistake most times. There, I don't know if you saw, Sombra just jumped in front of him, right? Not playing cover again here, so just eat that rock for no reason. You should have turned around for that Sombra, right? She's making the mistake of just running past her tank and just, you know, walking in the middle of your team more or less and hacking you for kind of no reason. If instead of, like, you know, just walking here, walking back, you saw the Sombra walk around the corner, you just backed up this way, you started shooting the Sombra, there's a chance she dies, right? You don't take all that damage. Here again, you saw the Reaper. Don't look at the Sig here. The Reaper's the primary threat. He actually kills your soldier. If you're just matrixing this Reaper, right, he gets no value. He just literally runs in, gets his Wraith forced, and potentially you can chase him down after that, right? This is a really bad engage from him. So I think you see that he Wraiths. Unfortunately, he Wraith too far away, and he's already getting healed by his dude. And yeah, unfortunately, you just get stuck on this pole. No big deal though. At least you recognize that he was potentially killable there. Again, don't shoot that. Here, you're down too. Well, I guess your Mercy just gets the res, so you want to be looking to get a trade or back up. Here, don't do this. You see she's alone, but she's playing at a safe distance, right? You see you waste all your boosters to come over here, but you put yourself in the middle of their team, right? Literally everyone's looking at you and you don't have bomb and you just landed in the open, right? So you're probably just going to get demeched and instantly die here, right? It's okay just to wait here and wait for someone else to make a mistake. Like the Reaper, he might just try to randomly run in again. Like you can see he's here. Just shoot these people away, right? You can play card, just shoot these people away. Your team's here with you, right? You know, you can even come over here so you're out of LOS with the Juno or something, right? But just shoot these people away. You can matrix them, and they really can't kill your team. Your team, by doing this, so I'm sure you can see, you just instantly get demexed. You just landed in the middle of the...
You see but a fraction of the universe.
Reset and regroup.
Careful, there's more of them than us.
Okay, here, you have to keep in mind 2 people just died. Really what you should be doing, matrix your team so they can get out, right? Unfortunately, you can't matrix more thing again. Once you see Kiri die, literally just fly away, right? You quite literally cannot do anything to win this fight, so just fly away, land here, matrix your soldier, you know, you're perfectly safe. If they push you again, okay, no problem, just fly back into spawn, right? You probably shouldn't have peeked out this far to begin with. But that's okay, you're just eating a ton of damage, you're gonna stagger yourself again. So. You shouldn't have been that far forward to begin with, but you still had an opportunity to escape. Again here, if you see Sig is shielding main, no problem. Just walk over here, because you need to get your mech back as soon as possible. Start just spamming them. Because you really want your mech back. You're pretty much useless without mechs. If he was a little better, he could have killed you. Okay, but you still get mech. That's alright. Yeah, this is good. Get her out of your space. It's okay to wait for your team to come back, right? Get the Immortal Orb. See, cover usage. You see the rock, right? Don't eat that. Just stop shooting, because shooting makes you go slower. Just let him throw the rock and waste it, right? If it doesn't hit you, it doesn't do it. It's okay to wait and spawn here. Again, Sombra's up there. Getting her way is good. You saw she made translocated up. You should be following the translocator, right? Because you can actually see like the glitch effect. I don't know what you want to call it at the very end of it. So you can keep shooting her and see where she lands, right? As long because you have pretty generous spread. And if you saw she landed up here, like I'm sure you can imagine, if you just kept tracking her and shooting her, and saw she landed up here, right? She'd be a free kill. Like she's out of LOS of her supports, right? Too far away from the Moira. She just dies here, right? And you get your team the intro pick. They need to push out a spawn. No, obviously not the greatest bomb. Unfortunately, you got hacked and the Reaper teleported on you. It's not that end of the world, whatever. I don't want to say too much about that. You see the Sombra's behind, you just have to kind of let her chill there, unfortunately. If you waste your time chasing the Sombra, your team will never be able to push, so unfortunately you just ignore it eventually. Here, what you should be doing is matrixing your Bastion, right? He's the primary threat, he does like a crazy amount of damage per second, and they're all going to be looking at him because he's in the open and in turret form, right? If you just matrix him here, he's going to kill everyone and no one can actually touch him. So I think you accidentally pretty much do the same thing because you're like body blocking him, but it's way more consistent just to literally hold matrix on him so you can keep walking forward and blow their team up, right? At the very least, if he does a bad turret form and Sigma has like a suck or a full shield or something, then at least he doesn't die, right? This is okay here. Yeah, this is good. Going back for the Sombra is good.
30 seconds remaining.
Here, I think playing a cart's okay. As D.Va though, since you have such good mobility, really there's no reason not to, for example, fly up here and see where they're coming from, right? Just fly up here, see where they're coming. You know, if someone overextends, like let's say this Juno is not paying attention, and she like just keeps walking this way, right? And uses her booster ring or something straight into you, then you get a free pick, right? If not, you know, you can just drop back to cart anyways, right? You're so mobile that you really don't get a whole lot of value from playing cart unless you have no other options here, right? You know, your teammates on cart do it eventually, right? So that's okay. You get hacked behind you. Did you see the Sig shooting the rock? Just drop. No reason to take all this damage here. So here you see that the Reaper uses Wraith, and then kind of in the middle of your team, right? Honestly, you should be looking to get out. In lower ranks, a lot of Reapers like to Wraith and then ult for some reason. But I'm sure if you imagine if you're literally just standing here and just Wraith or held Matrix on this Reaper, he'd no shot at getting a kill. And if he decided to, you know, Wraith away, you could potentially chase him. I would continue to shoot the Sig. He's already so low, right? You could just melee him twice and he'd die. And you go for the Sig here, even though the Juno was like 1 health to your left. It's not the end of the world because again he was already so weak, and maybe you didn't see how much health the Juno had, but it's in a bad spot here. Sorry. Doing what you can. This is alright. Yeah, it's a tough spot to win in. So I'm sure you can see if you made slightly better decisions leading up to that fight, you wouldn't have been in such a rough spot to begin with, though. So.
Ready.
So here, as D.Va, really you don't want to be holding choke. Honestly, as any tank, you know, it's really easy to punish people holding choke. It's really not good. You know, it's more important as you climb. As D.Va, you can like start here and scout, right? see where they're moving. Maybe someone overextends, you can get on their back line somehow, some way. But really, you only have one fight here, generally speaking, so you want to take the strongest position available. This is like the hardest position, not necessarily literally right here, but playing point area is the hardest position to flank, right? If you play here, you can get flanked from behind very easily, but I'm sure you can see if you play here, they have literally no way to flank you, right? You can see quite literally everywhere they can walk through here, so just something to keep in mind. But if your soldier is playing choke, it's okay to play up with him.
Ready for battle.
I don't think it's great. At the very least, you can matrix him and save him, right? So something you can do at the very least. But I'm sure you can remember from offense like how ineffectual you felt from just shooting choke. Like, again, cover usage thing here, right? No reason to go this far out. Just matrix the orb, matrix the soldier. I think your matrix should go about this far, maybe a little further. If you literally just sit here, you take no damage, and you can just allow your soldier to peek and eat the orb, stuff like that. If you need to, a little, right? No reason to go all the way out here. You can literally just go only as far as you need to go out, right? Again, you're playing these really long angles, but if you're just playing here, like, you're probably getting sick of hearing this, right? But it really is so important. You're taking much less damage, and you're doing more damage than you would from sitting out here, right? That's why it's so important to play your character. Here, your Brig just made a mistake. She just dashed in the open, right? So she can't use her dash to get away. You should be matrixing her away so she can get back to cover. I think it's okay to chase that. Unfortunately, this is the problem with playing choke, right? I said it's okay, but you don't really have a great option otherwise. Unfortunately, if you chase this Juno, you let the entire team walk through, but they're probably going to win the spam battle against you anyways, right? So here again, you see the Moira fade away. What you should be doing, see if she fades in a bad spot. Unfortunately, she doesn't really. You should be looking to see maybe if this Juno is able to be dove, right? If she has used her ring yet or not. I don't think she has. But maybe you can force it. Okay, I guess she used it like a long time ago. She almost has again. If not, just literally chill, wait for your team to get back, right? Can't do anything here because you're engaging too early, right? You just lost both your DPS and one of your supports. Literally just chill up here with your Life Weaver. You can rotate down here, for example. But by taking this engagement early, you're just wasting all your resources, right? See how much damage you take? It's because there's literally no one else to shoot, right? I mean, they can shoot your Life Weaver, but you have 3 people looking at you, and you can't matrix the Moira's damage, and you can't matrix the rock, obviously. So if you get rocked, like you just did, you're in the open, you're just gonna get a ton of spam, and the Life Weaver can't heal all that. He doesn't do a whole lot of healing. Even if you had like an Ana, someone that can or a Moira that can heal dump you really easily, they still really can't out heal all that, right? No reason to engage that early. Just wait for your team. Because you engage early, right? This fight's basically over. You can't do anything to Baby Diva, so. Okay, so here, the Hanzo just served himself up on a platter for you. You should be trying to kill this guy, right? Just literally land on him, blow him up. You're in a bad spot already, but I'm sure you can imagine. Kind of making the same mistake, right? No one else is here. Your Bastion just died, your Life Weaver died again. Might as well just try to get the kill on the way out. Right? Just get the free kill. This guy's point blank, right? He does not want to be here. And then just escape, run out this way or something. Wait till you have boosters and fly out if you need to. But just flying back to point after they already capped, you can't do anything. So, this is just a poor control. You're just gonna stagger yourself, and this is really bad here. Needless to say, so. Okay, a little longer respawn than I anticipated, but that's alright. Here, no reason not to boosters, get back as soon as possible. These boosters such a cooldown, you don't literally have to booster straight into them. Just booster high ground, see what's going on in the fight, you can booster up this way. Peek over this ledge, you're perfectly safe, if you start eating too much spam, just matrix and walk back. This is, the power of high ground, right? If you start eating too much spam, 1, you have cover right here. 2, by literally walking back, you have cover, right? So, Yeah, no reason not to be scouting to see where people are. Again, maybe someone's isolated up here, completely alone, right? Maybe they have a Hanzo just sitting up here completely alone, and you can kill him because he's isolated. But there's like no reason not to, right? Diva's very good at the high grounds. Same mistake here, just spamming from long range. Not really big value. I'm sure you can imagine, though, if you're just sitting up here, right? One, the enemy team can't, a single person on the enemy team can't force you off high ground, right? So you deny high ground from their entire team. And two, if someone, you see the Moira fade away all the way back here and she can't get healed, or you see the Hanzo's low, no problem. You literally are in such a good spot here because you're way closer, and you can literally drop on them, get the kill, and boost her away back to safety on high ground, right? You have way more options if you just position yourself better. And that's a general thing. As D.Va, you pretty much always want to set up on high ground as default. Okay, this is good, perfectly good. Just fly away from the thing. I don't think it's necessary to fly this far away, right? You can literally just fly right here and just matrix the Sigma, right? One, card's really close. I think you're probably still trying to play the stop card, but you still have, a decent amount of. It doesn't seem like much, but you have a decent amount of space to work with, right? You still have 4 meters. As long as you land right here, you have still decent-ish cover here, and you can matrix all the Sigma shots, so you can't get good value out of that flux, right? So. Unfortunately, see, because you kind of boost around the open, you just kind of get blown. And unfortunately, they just went off that, yeah. Tough spot to be in. Unfortunately, you kind of stagger yourself the fight beforehand. But that's all right. I'm sure you can see there are a lot of opportunities to turn the game around from what I've explained. And I'll reiterate, I think your primary 2 issues that I really want you to work on is getting more comfortable with D.Va, right? Getting comfortable with the burst, first of all, your effective range, right? It's okay to chill and I know it might feel like you're doing quite literally nothing, but even holding corners and waiting for opportunities is still doing something, right? As long as you're in a good position, right? You're still doing something. You still matrix your team, right? And you're not diverting resources away from your teammates that they would be better useful for, right? If you want to play a tank that can constantly be looking for spam damage, you can play Orisa. I think you said you play Orisa too, and Sig is kind of the same way, right? You can constantly be putting out pressure as those players, or those characters, right? I guess even Hog or Queen, right? They constantly can be looking for damage or hooks or knives or something like that. Yeah, it's not quite as consistent as Sig or Orisa, but that's besides the point, right? Get more comfortable with D.Va, and again, put on. At least I recommend putting hold for booster on, something like that. This setting's called. I'm sure if you watch an unranked GM, they'll show you where the setting is very early. Unfortunately I don't know where it is off the top of my head, so you could try Guru. Probably has it. I know he's a good D.Va player. And 2, I really want you to be focusing on playing corners and cover a lot better, right? Just minimizing the amount of unnecessary damage and spam you take will just help your team and you so much, right? Because you're not diverting resources away from your teammates that could better use it. And 2, once the opportunity for a pick or a way for you to take space actually is available to you, you won't be so low on resources that you actually be able to utilize or capitalize on your opportunity, right? So, all right, I hope this helps.